legislature. He's a very accomplished, serious, and important senior U.S. congressman. We want him to stay there. Charlie, come up and talk to us.
Peace a lot after that introduction. I'm glad I didn't have a glass of wine. Now I have to say something substantive tonight. I'm no fluff. Ah, yes, it's going to be nice not to have Hugo Chavez across the Connecticut River representing Vermont at large. Bernie Sanders and his Sandernistas can go back to taxi driving in the Bronx of New York City, where they came from to begin with. And we're going to replace Bernie Sanders with somebody who has real substance, not fluff. Somebody who has a real career in public service. Somebody who Vermonters know well. Somebody who I've gotten to know well. Somebody who knows how to get the message out. And somebody that will give me great pleasure in serving with in the next Congress, Martha Rainville. Let me just make a couple observations about Washington. Everybody's talking about Mark Foley. Everybody's talking about Mark Foley and how who knew what and when. And Mark Foley made a mistake. Big mistake. And he resigned. And now Nancy Pelosi, the San Francisco Democrat, says that we covered it up, that we're the party of corruption, that there's no hope. Let me give you a couple of little things to think about. First of all, in 1982, Jerry Studs, congressman from Cape Cod, actually was apprehended having a sexual relationship with a male page. He was censored, and she voted 5 times subsequent to that to make him a subcommittee chairman. I would also point out that since I've been elected to Congress, 5 congressmen have gone to jail. 4 of them were Democrats. 4 of them were Democrats. Can you remember that? 5 congressmen have gone to jail. 4 of them were Democrats. And they've got 2 more on deck, Jefferson and Mollahan. We've got 1, by the way, so we're still ahead. So when you hear these people chortling, just remember that it's time to get beyond Mark Foley in the last couple of weeks and start talking about what we stand for. And we stand for a strong and safe America, modest government, lower taxes, a strong economy, a clean environment, local responsibility, the importance of local government and churches and communities and families. It's not about big government. If the Democrats had control of the budget of this country, they'd raise it by $1 trillion in 2 years. And we as voters and as Republicans have to get out and talk about these issues between now and Election Day. Talk about Iraq. Nobody is more qualified than to give us information and substance on Iraq than Martha Rainville. Our plan for Iraq has to be sensible, it has to be realistic, it has to be flexible, but the one thing it cannot be is a plan that turns that country over to Al-Qaeda. We will not have Al-Qaeda controlling Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Syria, and Lebanon. We as a civilization will not survive that kind of control. And I hear these people talk about how they have this plan and that plan. The reality of it is this president has a plan. We are turning a battalion a month over to the Iraqi security forces over to the Iraqis. He has a plan. You can count it. After about 12 to 18 months, the Iraqis will be in charge of their own security force. Is this president going to give you a 1-year plan, as my opponent has proposed, or a 1.5-year plan? Or as Jack Murtha, he had his way, we'd have been gone 2-3 months ago, and Al-Qaeda would be in charge of the whole region? No. The reason for that is that having 40% of the world's oil supply and a major region of the world controlled by a terrorist group whose only intention is to kill innocent Americans and wipe out Western civilization. That is not acceptable to me, and I will not serve in the Congress under those circumstances. Now, let's talk about one other issue, tax relief. You hear these guys on the campaign trail talking about how the Republicans cut taxes for their wealthiest friends. Well, let me give you couple little things. Again, simple numbers to remember. If we roll back the tax relief package of 2001 and 2003, the average family in Vermont and New Hampshire will pay $2,000 more per year. New Hampshire, I don't know about Vermont, has received in savings over $4.5 billion the period that this tax relief package has been in effect. The average household income in New Hampshire and Vermont would go up by about 58% if the tax relief package is repealed. Let me point out that at present, 0.1% of Americans pay 17% of the taxes. The lower 50% of America pays 3.4% of all the taxes that are paid in this country. And that is down from 3.7% 3 years ago. We have a very, very progressive tax structure in this country. But what is happening is people, when they have a little extra money, they save it, they invest it, and they spend it. And that's why our economy is so much stronger now than it was prior to the Bush administration. So don't let them tell you that raising taxes, increasing spending, and cutting and running in Iraq is the way America should go. Let's get beyond CNN and Scream Radio and Scream Television and talk to real voters about real issues that real people care about. And when you do that, you will find that they say, oh, wait a minute, it's time to vote Republican. We are the party that believes in what Americans believe in. We are the party that believes in an America that can be as strong and as prosperous for my 12 and 14-year-old children as it has been for me when they get to be my age. But we got to work for it. This is going to be, as Lud said, one of the most difficult elections for all of us. Make no mistake about it. Republicans are dispirited. Republicans are worried. This is the time when we need to get together and fight. We need to get out on the street corners. We need to get the signs out. We need to cover the polls. We need to make the phone calls. We need to get out the vote. Not just for me, not just for Jim, not just for the Senate candidates and congressional candidates, but for you guys who are running for the legislature and the state Senate and the county offices. We need to work together as a team. And when we do, we win. When Republicans vote for Republicans, when Republicans get Republicans out and like-minded independents, we win. But we don't get it for nothing. So we have a month from tomorrow to get together in both of these states and start putting foot to the road, shoulder to the grindstone, and remember that we will earn it, and when we earn it, we will win. And as Norris Cotton said many years ago, many, many years ago, I might say, the only time Republicans lose is when Republicans are overconfident or when they don't care. If you care about the future of America, you need to care for the next 28 days. I want to tell all of you how much of a privilege and honor it has been to represent this wonderful district now for 12 years. It's been a great privilege. I couldn't have done it without you. And I hope, God willing, to be able to do it once again. Thank you so much. God bless you, everyone.